I want to go back with you and talk about way before Vanderpump Rules. What was it like growing up in Kentucky as opposed to LA?
Oh, it's completely different. 100% different. I mean, there's absolutely nothing the same. My mom was just here for 3 weeks, and it took her like at least a week and a half to get adjusted to how we do things here and stuff. But, you know, I grew up on a 500-acre tobacco farm. So during the summers, I was helping my papa plant the tobacco plants and stuff like that. He never smoked or drank a day in his life, but Kentucky, it was one of our like biggest crops. So it was something that I worked on and did every single summer, and it was just fun. And my whole family lives next to each other, is close to each other. People wave at you just when you're driving down the road. Here, you can't even get somebody to let you out. So it's just completely different. But it's a lot more fun here, I will say that.
When you have a baby, looking back at the way you grow up, like what are some values that you want to take from Kentucky and really teach your son?
Well, I definitely, even though we're far away, I definitely want him to be close to family. That's very important to me. You know, like I said, my mom was just here for so long, and it's just very important to be close to family. So we might eventually move back that way, whether it's Kentucky or Florida. Jax always talks about that, but we definitely want to be closer to family. And I think like working hard, because, you know, everything is not just going to be given to you. So I want him to have chores. Maybe we'll get a chicken coop one day so he can learn, you know, how to work and do things like that. So I think that's very important as well.
Was your high school experience different than when you talked to like, you know, maybe like Stassi or Katie about their high school experience, or was it similar?
I loved high school.
Was it? But are you guys like doing the same things that LA high school students do, or is it like?
Well, Katie grew up in Utah and Stassi grew up in New Orleans.
True. Okay.
You know, we all had different experiences. My high school, I think, graduated with like 500 people. So it wasn't like huge, but it wasn't too small, but it was the only high school in town. So it's not like we had different high schools, but I loved it. I thought it was so fun.
When you were in high school, did you want to move to LA, or was this like later on?
It was later on. Definitely like meeting Jax made me move to LA. Of course, I talked about it whenever I was younger that I wanted to move out of Winchester. And I lived in Cincinnati for a while, which is like a big city compared to Winchester, Kentucky. So I lived there for like 2 years before with my ex-boyfriend for 2 years before I moved here. But I think meeting Jax, just obviously, that's the reason that I ultimately moved here.
How did you guys meet? I don't even know if I know the story.
Oh my gosh. So many people have like, you met in his DMs and this and that. I'm like, absolutely not. That did not happen. We met in Las Vegas. Actually, today, May 6th, is the actual date that we met each other.
Happy anniversary.
So, like we first met. My best friend, Kara, her birthday's May 5th. Sheena's birthday is May 7th. So Jax was in Vegas meeting for Sheena and her birthday. I was in Vegas for Kara for her birthday. We happened to be in Old Vegas at the same time, and he came up to me at the bar and asked for my number and stuff. Turns out he was on a date with another girl and came up to me. Came up to me while she was in the bathroom. So, yeah.
Hold on. So you're like at the bar, you're like having drinks. At this point, do you even know what Vanderpump Rules is?
I had never watched Vanderpump Rules before. I put that on everything.
My friend Kara, what you would say if you did.
The show was on at this point, though?
It was on 3 seasons. I came on season 4. My friend Kara, on the other hand, was a fan of Vanderpump Rules, and we saw Katie Maloney. So we ended up meeting Katie first because Kara wanted me to take a picture of her and Katie together.
Oh my God.
So yeah, this is real life. So Katie and Kara take a picture together, and Katie was just so nice to us, was like, where are you guys from? Because Kara's from Winchester, has a really thick accent too. And it just like started a conversation with us. So we just ended up talking for a while and went to the bar together. And then Tom Schwartz came up and we were all taking shots together. And then Jax came up after that.
When Jax comes up, like smooth move Jax, do you automatically think that guy's hot, or you just didn't even look at him?
Oh, I thought he was really hot.
Yeah.
I thought he was hot. And I was honestly going through a breakup at the time. And it was just like perfect timing for me because I wanted something to distract me from my ex-boyfriend. And he was like one of the first guys I gave my number to or anything. And I really didn't think that we would hang out after that or after I left Vegas at all. But we ended up hanging out every single day I was in Vegas. And then I went back home to Kentucky, and every other week I started flying out to LA. And then I think like 2.5 months later, I moved here. It was crazy.
You would never put you guys together as a fan of the show, like watching him before, but now that you guys are together, it makes all the sense in the world. Doesn't it feel like that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We balance each other out because he's very like hard-headed sometimes. I'm very like, woo, unicorns and rainbows. So, we kind of balance each other out.
So at what point does he tell you, hey, like, one, I want to be with you, and two, I'm filming this show, like, will you be on it?
So, like, the first night we met, Jax was already getting jealous because there's this other guy in the bar. This is crazy. And he was on a date, like I said, with another girl.
What was she doing?
She was, like, in the bathroom, and then she comes out, and Jax is talking to me at the bar, and she's telling my friend Kara, like, he likes her, doesn't he? And it was like a first date thing for them. It wasn't anything serious. It's not like I snatched a boyfriend away. But he was, saying, like, she was saying, oh my God, I think that he likes Brittany, blah, blah, blah. And Kara's like, they just met, trying to like ease it over. So then me and Kara go across to the bar and we're playing like life-size Jenga. Another guy's coming up flirting with me. And Jax is texting me from across the bar being like, hey, who's that? And I'm like, well, you literally just met me.
While he's still on the date.
Yeah. While he's standing there.
I got to talk to this guy at one point.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. He loves telling that he was on another date. It's like his favorite part of the story. I don't know why. Because it's Jax, I guess.
So when did you start to do the show? Was it something you dipped your toe in, or was it like full-fledged contract ready? We're doing this 360, like obsessed.
Oh no. It was like I slowly came into it. They started showing me, I think, coming and visiting him. And then they showed me move here. But they probably didn't realize that this was going to last with Jax. They probably thought I was just another girl that he was dating, and they didn't know like what was going to happen with me. So I started filming a little bit. I was so scared to talk. I mean, this romper reminds me of like my first romper that I wore with Lisa Vanderpump at the Sir interview. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, when she said I was needed to put on trousers. So it was just crazy. I was so nervous. I hardly spoke. I mean, I was just kind of following Jax's lead. And then after I moved down here, I ended up getting on it a lot. And then the producers finally were like, okay, you've been on it a lot. Let's talk about a contract. And I was like, okay. I was so nervous. I didn't know what was happening. It was honestly a whirlwind, and it was really fun. I'm glad I did it.
A full culture shock, because you didn't just move to LA. You moved to LA and were immediately on television on a popular show. So it's like a very fast transition into this city, especially coming from where you came.
Oh, it was insane. It was very nerve-wracking. It took me a while, and a lot of people don't realize, like, I moved in with Jax in a studio apartment. So it was both of us. There was no air conditioning. There was no closet space. There was it was tiny. We lived there for like 6 months, and then we've, moved into different apartments since then.
What's your family saying during all this? So like, Brittany, what's going on?
I mean, they're just kind of like, we support you, whatever you want to do. We love you. Obviously miss me and didn't really want me to move at the same time. They were like, we just love you. And if you really like him, like, see what happens, but they're still worried, of course, the whole time. It was crazy.
You worked at Hooters.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Loved it.
I have a bone to pick with you about Hooters.
Oh, gosh.
When I was 18, I got a secret tip from a girl that worked at Hooters that the tights that the Hooter girls wear are like incredible tights. They
yes.
Tighten the ass, tighten the vagina, tighten the ankles, tighten the legs.
They are amazing.
So it was like a secret, these tights. So I marched into Hooters. I remember the closest Hooters to us in San Diego was like
down by the stadium,
far,
right? Yeah, the stadium.
Far. So I drive all the way down and I go into Hooters.
I don't know how I knew that. I knew exactly what it was.
You're like,
it was right here.
And I walked in and to the girl at the front desk, and I said, hi, I want to buy the Hooters tights. It was Halloween coming up. I wanted everything to look tight. And she goes, I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
She acted like she didn't know. She was wearing the tights. She acted like she didn't know. She didn't sell them.
Crazy.
I went through so many hoops to get these damn Hooter tights. I finally got them. They really are the best tights.
Oh, they're amazing. And they like make your legs look a little shiny too.
Yes.
So in Hooters in Lexington that I worked at, it was a vending machine in the back. So if you had a run in your tights or anything, you always had to buy a new pair of tights before you started your shift. Here in LA, you had to go to like a little grocery store across the street.
See, that's how Kentucky's different than LA.
Yeah.
Kentucky's sharing the secrets. Yeah. LA is hiding it across the street. See?
Exactly. Yeah. So you had to like go in, and I worked at the one across the street from Staples Center. So you're already like looking for parking and everything else. And then you're like, crap, I just put a run in my tights, having to run across the street. It was a whole mess. Now, I like the vending machine in the back.
Hooters tights are going to go up the stock, I feel like. By the way, if you guys Google the Skinny Confidential Hooters tights, I did a blog post on it like
you did?
6 years ago about these tights.
There's going to be a line outside of Hooters now.
And you can buy them on Amazon now too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just fun fact. Okay. So you get here. Are you still working at Hooters when you move here?
Yes. So I transferred Hooters so that I still had a job whenever I moved here. And obviously, Lisa did not hire me at first, so I had to go through that. But the money is not the same. I thought whenever I moved to LA from Kentucky, I would be making bank here. It was not like that at all. So you only made money if there was like a concert or a game, a basketball game, hockey game, something like that. It was completely different because any other time there was absolutely nobody in there, and you're paying $25 for parking. A lot of the times I would go like negative. Like I would be like 25 down and not make it a cent if there was not a concert or something going on. So
Taylor,
it was
Taylor, you gotta go in
different.
For the wings. You're not supporting your local Hooters,
Let me
you
tell you
guys.
something. I'm not kidding. They have really good wings.
Oh my God, the best. I love their food. And honestly, the Staples Center now is closed down. Like everything, all the Hooters around here have closed down. It makes me so sad.
Oh, Taylor, you gotta go to Hooters, Taylor. What are you doing?
Hey, listen, they say you go for the Hooters, you stay for the wings.
It's good.
Okay, so what is the differences, and what did you notice were pros and cons of LA when you got here? What are things that you really loved, and what are things that you were like, what is this culture shock? This is not okay.
I really loved like how much there was to do. You know, there was something to do every single day. There's so much nightlife. There's so many restaurants. You know, I met a lot of really amazing people here, and you would see cool people everywhere you went. I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. I hated that you had to pay for parking everywhere you went. Like, what the heck? You go to the grocery store and you have to pay for parking? Like, I was just like so shocked by that. And, you know, just, it was awesome having cameras in my face and stuff because, you know, it's super cool. But at the same time, I was so nervous. And I get like a lot of anxiety about it. And it like builds up and you're like, oh my God, what did I say? What did I do? So it was just, I think everything about moving to LA was just kind of a culture shock.
And what about the cast? Was everyone nice to you right away? I feel like you got a pretty warm welcome from what I remember.
Yeah. I mean, I was lucky that I met Katie first because she already was like, Jax, this girl's really sweet. I don't want you to ruin her. And like saying stuff like that to him.
Katie's so nice.
Oh, I love Katie. And I got to meet Sheena and her mom and dad early on too. And I just felt like everybody was so nice to me from the get-go. I was actually really lucky. They were telling me not to move in with Jax. I will say that. They wanted me to move here, but they were like, do not move in with Jax. Do not move in with Jax. And of course, I was like, well, I'm moving in with Jax.
Was that tough coming in with the reputation he had and kind of putting the like blockers on and you know, just kind of figuring it out for yourself?
Oh, yeah. Because like I said, I didn't watch the show before I met him. So like my friends would kind of tell me what was going on and that watched the show and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh. But at the same time, I wanted to, you know, see how he was with me and find out things about him for myself because that was very important. You can't judge everybody on everything in the past. You know, I was still going through a breakup and I was just like, you know what? Let's do it. You know, I was like, it was almost like we had a love at first sight kind of moment, you know? And now 7 years later, I've been in LA for 7 years now, which is insane to me.
That is insane.
Yeah.
I remember when you first came on the show, I feel like the fans like loved you right away. Like I
was very lucky.
You were the fans. It's still even your community like rallies around you, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. Oh, I'm very, very blessed. I never knew like what was going to happen. I never thought this was going to be such a big thing in my life, you know? And a lot of people like want this for their lives. I never thought I was going to be like an actress or a model or anything like that. And you know, I know I'm very lucky and I'm very blessed, and I always am going to be grateful for that.
You're very humble.
Oh, thank you.
Which, I mean, like, honestly,
thank you.
Very, very humble. It's very impressive.
Well, thank you.
So as Vanderpump goes on, what is the first moment where you're like, I don't like this? Like, what was something that you like? Was it a fight? Was it someone was being mean to someone? Where was there something where you were like, oh, wait, I don't know if I signed up for this?
I mean, there was many a times when people are fighting because I hate when people fight and I don't like to be like in the middle of it at all. So it's not, I can't really think of like a first time, but obviously when me and Jax were going through our relationship troubles and he did what he did, I can't even talk about it hardly, but whenever he did what he did on national TV and embarrassed the hell out of me, that was the absolute worst.
What do you even do when that happens?
I mean, I didn't know what I was going to do. I took off running and I went and got a hotel room and stayed away. Like, wouldn't answer production's phone calls, wouldn't answer anybody's phone calls. And everybody was like freaking out, like, where's Brittany? Where's Brittany? I just like took off and hid for a little bit. And then I like was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. And I was like, okay, I'm here at this hotel.
You handled that whole thing with grace. And also your mom seemed like she was so supportive. You're so lucky that you have your mom.
Oh, yeah. My mom is the absolute best. And, like, she had to leave today because we had an unfortunate death in our, a close friend of our family passed away. So she ended up having to leave today early. She was going to stay through May. But I just miss her so much. She's the absolute best. So
was your mom super supportive with everything you were going through, or was she like, leave his ass, he's done?
She was super supportive. I mean, me and Jax did break up for like 3 months. And I like traveled around with Sheena because she was single too at the time. So we were like going to Atlanta. She came to Kentucky with me. I went to Vegas. I was like traveling all around doing whatever I wanted to do. Jax was calling me like 30 times a day, like freaking out because I wasn't answering his phone calls. He didn't think that I would do that, I don't think, but I made him work for it. A lot of people don't know that, but I did.
You know what, too? I think, I could be so wrong with this, just like an outside perspective. It seems like he almost was like self-destructive in that moment. Like he was so used to messing up in his last relationships that he almost was like testing limits to see what he could get away with and take it as far as he could. I almost, this is weird, think that from watching the show, this is a viewer, that your relationship needed that for him to get to the other side. Does that make sense?
I mean, it does, and you're definitely right. He would even say, like, he was doing it to himself. He was like, I was hating myself. I was doing this because I didn't want anybody to be too close to me, and this and this and that. And as soon as he tried to break up with me on camera at the end, that's whenever I was like, bye, because I had already put up with so much crap. But he instantly was texting me, calling me, I'm sorry. Like, I think I don't know. He was just going through a lot at the time, and he just needed to, like you said, get through it. And it was hard. It was really hard, but I'm proud of myself for sticking through it because I love him so freaking much. I really do. And now we have this amazing, beautiful little boy, and we've been together for 7 years now, and we're married, and we have this beautiful home. Like, we're super strong. And like, I don't know if we would have gotten this far, because he always said he didn't want marriage or anything like that. I think he had to see what it was like to lose me, if that makes any sense. And I know that sounds crazy at times, but he had to see what it was like to lose me.
No, a lot of guys go through and they never get consequences.
Yeah.
Right. And so they just keep pushing the boundaries.
Exactly.
Right. I think like I always say this, I have 2 young sisters, and I'm always like, guys need the consequence. They need the boundary. Like, they need to know what the limit is and actually like have that limit enforced, or else they kind of just, they take advantage of it.
Oh, of course. If I would have just stuck around and stayed there, he probably wouldn't have changed. So
I think that what you did was perfect. Go travel around.
Oh, yeah.
You should push my boundary and see what
Listen, I know I don't fuck around. I know. I know the boundary. I know
I have
what will
a lot
happen.
of ideas pinned to my Pinterest board.
No, we like a little, I guess I'm speaking for men, we like a little bit of a structure. I mean, there is something to be said, like, we're probably all still like little boys inside waiting to be told like no, right? Like, probably all have mommy complexes.
I agree.
I mean, okay, whatever.
No, it's true though, because I think if you just like, I know how I am in my life. If I know I can get away and just do whatever I want, I like my whole life I just run roughshed, you know. I'm just like, do whatever the hell I
mean,
want.
there has to be a little bit of chase, I feel like, for guys.
100%.
What is that like, going through everything you went through with a camera in your face? That gives me anxiety for you.
Oh, it was a lot of anxiety. I still have it to this day. Like, if people will be like, oh, the episodes are rerunning and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to relive it all the time. That's the worst part, because you have the issue that happens while you're filming. Then you have to talk about it in interviews like months later, like the one-on-one camera interviews. And then like 6 months later, it gets aired to all the viewers. So you have to live through like those horrible times that many times. So that's like what is so crazy about reality TV that a lot of people don't understand and give people a lot of hard time. You know, it's so, I just feel bad for people whenever I understand kind of what it's like to be on a reality show, if you know what I mean.
You could get past something personally, like with Jax, and then
have to relive it.
And then you have then it happens again, and everyone's commenting on it, and you're like,
oh yeah, and then you're mad again too. So like, I'm like, Jax, like you hear something that was said and it would bring up a fight all over again. And he'd be like, I'm not fighting about this all season. I was like, you can't help it sometimes. You just get mad again. So it's tough. It can be tough.
Not only do you get through it sounds like, then you also have to talk about it with the producers. That's like another layer. And then it goes out for the judge and jury of the audience to decide.
Exactly.
After it comes out and it's out there, is it liberating or was the audience like attacking Jax?
A lot of people were attacking Jax. A lot of people thought I was weak for staying with Jax and everything like that. So, you have to deal with a lot of that stuff. It's hard. But there's also many amazing things. Like my engagement was on there. My wedding was on there. So those times are fun to relive and look back on as well.
Jax said in an interview with Jackie Schimmel on the Bitch Bible that he, and I don't know when this happened on this timeline, that he switched from alcohol to smoking weed and it was like life-changing.
Life-changing, yeah.
So was that something that helped like move you guys forward as a couple?
Yeah, I mean, it really helped him calm down. So if he's ever like in his crazy, because he gets anxiety and stuff too, and he's like, he'll put like a water bottle down or I'll put a water bottle down and like 2 seconds later, he's like, has to move it like just like a couple inches over. Drives me nuts. Like just the littlest stuff like that.
Him and I would get
along. Just little stuff like that where he's just like going through it. And then he'll be walking around like doing laps and stuff all around. And then I'll be like, will you please go smoke a blunt, please? And he's like, all right, I will. And then it just makes him like relax. Some people need it. And that's why it's legal.
Medicinal.
That's what, medicinal.
Right?
Yeah, I think it's great.
So you guys get engaged on camera. I loved that scene. Did you know that was happening? And if you didn't know it was happening, how do they even like do that?
So I didn't know that it was happening because it was going to be our first date night. So I wanted like the first date night since we had that horrible season, the season before. The last episode was us breaking up and like being at, I think, Pump or something, and I was like flicking him off and stuff. I think that was like our last episode, and then it was going to be our first date together. So I wanted to be cute. I had like hair and makeup done, and then we're in the Uber, and it's taking like 2 hours to get to Malibu. And Jax was being so weird and so short with me, and I thought it was just because it was taking a long time to get to Malibu. So I honestly had no idea what was going on. And then they had the limo take us home, and it's like 9 o'clock in LA. So back home, it was like 12 o'clock. So nobody was answering my phone calls when I was trying to tell them that I was engaged. It was crazy.
And then you guys get married in Kentucky at this castle. First of all, that looked insane.
Oh my gosh. I've been dreaming of getting married at that castle since I was a little girl. It had burned down and everything like a couple years ago. I never knew if it was even going to be open, and everything just happened to work out perfectly. It was bought by new owners. They made a bar, they made a restaurant, had 13 rooms. So I was able to rent it out for all my bridesmaids and groomsmen to stay the whole weekend. It was just perfect. It was exactly what I wanted.
I kind of want to go to that castle.
You should.
What was the castle? What is the castle?
So I've heard this story. I don't know if it's 100% correct, but this is what I've heard. This guy was like traveling around, and him and his wife loved to travel around to like castles in like London and all these different places. So he decided he was going to build her a castle, and like, which is amazing. Like, build me a castle, Jax, please. So he built her a castle, and I think it got like halfway through, and they divorced or they separated. Christ. So then it was like only halfway built for a long time. Then another owner would buy it, and another owner would buy it, another owner would buy it. Then it got burnt down. It was like so many different things that happened. So for it to all work out at the end of the day, it was always something that you would drive by and be like, this is amazing. I really would want to get married there one day. But I just didn't know if it was going to happen because of all the crap that went on there. And it turns out to be perfect.
Was the wedding as seamless? It looked seamless on TV. Like, it looked like you guys had a great wedding.
Oh, yeah. It was perfect.
Yeah.
There wasn't like any drama. I mean, there was drama between like Kristen and Katie and Stassi and them, but they try to keep me out of it as much as they could. I feel like that they didn't want to hurt my feelings or anything. So
I feel like on the show, they're all protective of you.
Yeah. I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. I appreciate it.
Did Jax come around to the idea of having kids after you guys got married, or was it something that you guys talked about before?
I mean, he knew I wanted kids always, so that was never like a question. I've been very open that I wanted kids. He acted like he didn't want to get married or have kids or anything for a long time. But he knew I did. And, you know, at the end of the day, he proposed and he wanted to have a baby too. So it just kind of happened naturally. I mean, we got married first. A year later, we ended up getting pregnant. So it just turned out to be perfect. And he didn't fight me on nothing. I mean, it was like, let's go. I'm ovulating today. Let's go. So
he was supportive.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Your pregnancy. First of all, I'm so excited to talk to you about this selfishly because we were talking a little bit off air. What was that like? What was it like being pregnant with a bunch of your friends at the same time?
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome to have somebody to go to ask questions to that was going through the same things like right before me, you know?
Yeah.
Lala was only like, our actual due dates were only 8 days apart. She ended up having Ocean a month before, but we were literally only 8 days apart. So she found out
a month before. Fuck you, Lala. You had a month. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she came like a month early, I think. Yeah.
Oh, my baby came 2 weeks after 40 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She was cooking. She didn't want to come out.
Oh my goodness. Oh no, Cruz was getting big, so they were like, well, you know, if he doesn't come out, we're gonna have to induce you. So
is that what they do if the baby's big?
Yeah. Because I wanted to have a vaginal birth, but you can have a C-section or anything as well. I don't know.
So they said because the baby's big,
and because I was very anxious. Like I was like, I'm ready because I was so big and I was so hurt, and I know I was hurting so bad, so I know you're at that point right now, aren't you?
I'm so uncomfortable.
But you look amazing. I swear you're like the cutest pregnant person ever.
Trust me, there's a lot going on.
I mean, my face was huge, my nose was huge, my lips were huge. People were saying I had lip injections while I was pregnant. I was like, are you joking? I'm literally pregnant and huge right now. Like, why would I get lip injections?
What is it like being pregnant with a hit show with you got a new husband and all of these people weighing in on your pregnancy?
Oh, it was hard on me because I'm already like a people pleaser as it is. And when people say like negative things or anything like that, it really gets to me. So I have to like be cautious not to look at Instagram too much because I'm one of those people who will see a negative comment, even though there's so many more positive people and so many more amazing people out there. Sometimes you'll just read something and it'll stick with you. And I think the paparazzi was kind of like outside my door and stuff, like waiting to get like shots of me that were, you know, walking to my mailbox where I'm like, you know, and it was just hard. I couldn't imagine being like Kim Kardashian or something.
Paparazzi waiting to get photos of you that like they're trying to get unflattering photos.
I mean, I don't know if they were trying to get unflattering photos, but that's all I ever saw.
Then remind me, is when you guys stopped doing Vanderpump Rules during your pregnancy or before?
Yeah, it was during.
So you're going through all of that.
Yes.
Everything that went on with Stassi and everything, and you're both pregnant at the same time, right?
Yep.
That's a lot.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot. I was very in my head. I will say I probably got a little bit depressed at times, but I just kept trying to focus on Cruz, and, you know, he was just amazing, just moving around in my belly. I could cry, honestly, thinking about it.
I will say, though, during that time, like, I remember seeing like your Instagram, and your community is so supportive.
Oh yeah, so supportive.
A very, very engaged community. Like thousands of comments from people supporting you.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's way more nice people, but for some reason you see those mean comments, and that's what you focus in on. And I think it just comes with the territory of being on reality TV or just having a large following in general. I'm sure you have to deal with some crap too sometimes.
I think that it should be illegal to comment on a pregnant woman's body.
I think so too.
It's already enough. It's like the hormones, the cankles, the swelling, the leakage.
Vomiting.
It's just like, it's like, and then to have someone project their own insecurities onto you and your body.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
It's a certain, I mean, I don't know about illegal, but it's a certain form of karma that you're inviting into your life.
Yeah.
To comment on people's bodies or pregnancies or whatever, right? I always like look at it from that empathetic standpoint. It's like, how much of a broken person do you have to be to try to tear someone down that's going through one of the most beautiful moments of their life?
Exactly. That's
right?
what I always say. You have to be a pretty
dark place to go there.
Yes, you do. And a lot of times, like if I see somebody, it's a mom or something, commenting something terrible, I'll go to their page and I'll be like, underneath a picture of their like daughter or son or whatever. Oh, your child is so beautiful. I hope they never have to grow up to deal with a bully like you are.
Good for you.
And I'll get a lot of comments and a lot of DMs like, I'm so sorry that I said that and did that. I think a lot of people just need to wake up. Like, do you want somebody talking to your child like that you're talking to me? Like, they're going to see this and be like, my mom is an online bully. Like, are you proud of yourself for that? Come on.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like I look at it from an empathetic standpoint because I imagine like if you're that upset or that angry, we have to log into something online. You have to go to somebody you don't know.
Exactly.
You have to say something to try to hurt them. It's like, what is going on
like
in your life?
Like you thought about that. You didn't just do it like randomly.
Yeah. And
take steps.
It's like I said, you got to be in a pretty dark space in life to go to that place.
I think so too.
I also noticed the people that comment are either have no picture, which we all like. It's like, oh, yep. Did you go to my high school and like you used to have, like yeah. What's that history?
Oh my
gosh. It's someone who has like live, laugh, love, God bless in their bio, and they have. You're right, they have kids.
Yeah, or like mommy of 3 or grandmother of 4 or whatever. Yeah, it's almost every time. I know, like Mimi, not. My mom's called Mimi, so that's why I say that. But like, what are you doing?
Side tangent, where's the beer cheese?
Actually, my mamaw sells it still in Kentucky. She makes it all the time. We just kind of got little COVID happened. It kind of put everything back, and food is a whole nother level. But my grandmother still makes it and sells it all over Kentucky.
What is in this beer cheese? I'm sorry, this is a tangent. I need to know.
Real beer.
So it's cheese and beer.
So yeah, and along with other ingredients and stuff, but it's stale beer. That's the trick.
I bet it's good though.
It's not real. It's not like regular beer. You have to make it stale first and then put it in there.
Can it be any kind of beer?
Budweiser's the best.
So you do Budweiser, you make it stale, and then can you pour it in any kind of cheese, or does it need to be a certain cheese?
It's a certain cheese.
What's the cheese?
I don't know. My mama does it.
Is it like cheddar cheese or is it like brie cheese?
It's kind of like a sharp cheddar. More like if you're going to compare it to something, it would be like a sharp cheddar with like a hint of beer, but also like garlicky.
Oh my God.
It's so good. I should have her send me a bunch and send you some.
Don't tell me that. Yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, you're pregnant. You got to taste it.
Queso is like my favorite thing ever.
I love
Does it taste like queso?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No, it's more like a spread than like a runny cheese.
Like ranch?
No, like a spread.
Like a spread.
Like
a cheese board.
Think of a little bit like hummus maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, like more like that.
And can you put it on like chips or crackers or whatever?
Oh, yes. Awesome on like Lay's chips. Awesome on Ritz crackers.
Are you hungry,
awesome on celery or carrot sticks or anything.
This beer cheese was a character on Vanderpump Rules, Michael. Like I'm telling you, they talked about this beer cheese.
I know. I feel so bad that it hasn't came out yet, but that doesn't mean we're not going to do it. We're just got to find the right partners. It takes a while to find the right people to work with.
Do a beer cheese stuffed goat cheese ball, but call it a beer
ball.
A beer ball. And sell it at Sir, and you guys sell it. I feel like it would sell out. When you started talking about that, my mouth was watering.
Oh my gosh, it's
so
okay,
good.
Lauren?
No, Michael, I'm hungry.
She's pregnant.
Yeah, she's ready.
Michael looked at me the other day and he goes, "What's wrong with you?"
Well,
what is wrong with me?
Are you having those pains whenever you sit down and like stand up and it hurts so bad at the bottom?
You can't. This is my thing with pregnancy. People are like, "Well, just relax. It hurts to lay down."
Yeah. Exactly.
So
I had that same thing.
And like, what do you do?
I was a stomach sleeper, so having to sleep on my side, it was insane for me.
Okay, this is one tip that has changed my life. So on Instagram, I saw this tip. So you sleep on your side, you sleep on your right or left side. You have to sleep always on your left side because that's the way the gut drains or something.
I heard that too. The doctor even told me that. Something about sleeping on the left side is healthier or better for the baby or something.
It feels better on heartburn. If you have like any kind of pains, sleep on your left side. And also I just think sleeping on your left side is better for you in general, not just pregnant.
Yeah, it's something about your heart. I don't know. But I slept on my left side. I mean, mainly if I did it to this day, I would probably be on my left side too. But
yeah, left side.
It was hard still.
So everyone's left side's going to look older than their right side. Sleep on a silk pillowcase.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It works so good.
That's why you got to get Botox.
Got to get Botox. I can't do anything right now.
Well, of course.
I can't get Botox. I can't go in the sauna. I can't do the ice bath. I can't do any of it.
Well, people will still say you did.
True.
If you look good in a photo, they're like, she's getting Botox or she's getting lips done. I'm like, what?
Did you have an easy birth with Cruz?
Mm-mm.
No.
I mean, it wasn't like the worst by any means, but I got an epidural. It didn't work. They had to take it out, put it back in a couple times. Yeah. Jack said that was the hardest part for him to watch. But it was still beautiful. I got to watch him come out in the mirrors. Well, you've been there, obviously.
No, he was on the other side. There was no mirror for him.
She pushed me in the corner. She was
did you push Jax in the corner, or did he get to watch?
Oh, I let him watch, and my mom was in the room too. But it was so funny because Jax was over here on my left side, the nurse was over here on the right side, and they're counting and they're off beat. So Jax is going 3, and then the nurse is like 3. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to kill you. Like, count on the same pace.
Do you love being a mom?
Oh, it's the best thing I've ever done in my life.
Honestly, like, you're such a mom vibe. I bet you're such a good mom.
Oh, thank you. I'm obsessed with my child. He's literally the best thing I've ever done. And Jax is an amazing father. Like, amazing.
Tell us, I can tell that too. Tell us things that we don't know about him as a father. He seems like a really good dad.
Well, like, Cruz is home with him right now. Like, I don't have to worry about anything at all. He sends me pictures all day. You know, he takes him on 2 walks a day in his stroller. You know, he plays with him all day long. He's amazing. And it was so funny because he would always say, I won't be home alone with the baby until he's at least like 6 months or a year old. He was not like that at all. You know, in the beginning, we're scared to walk up the stairs with him or anything like that. But it just came so naturally for him. And I'm like so impressed with him. And honestly, it makes you love your husband even more whenever you see how good of a father they are. I'm sure you feel the same way. But it's just amazing to see him like that because a lot of people haven't seen this side of Jax, and I just hope that they get to one day.
Morning routine, who does it? You or Jax?
It depends on who is sleeping in a little bit that day. We kind of just like if I had woke up with him like 3 days in a row, then I'll be like, all right, Jax, it's your turn. And he'll be like, okay. And he'll get up and go down. So we're kind of like both of us do it.
He sounds like a really good dad.
Oh, yeah. He'll have his breakfast. He'll do everything for him. He's amazing. I don't have to worry about anything. And we switch off. We're very even.
Do you want more or are you done?
Oh, no, I want more, 100%.
Oh, you want more?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Jax, look out. She's ovulating.
Oh, he knows I want more. He wants 2. I want 3. We'll see how it goes.
I brought you some coconut oil lube.
Ooh.
So you can take it home tonight. You can eat it, lick it, suck it, fuck it.
Hell
it's
yeah.
by Woo, and you guys can make another one.
Hey, I'm down. Thank you.
So after you have the baby, did you approach Jenny Craig? Did they approach you? How did you decide that you wanted to do this? Because I will say it seems like a lot of hard work and dedication and discipline what you've done. You look so good.
Thank you.
I mean, you told me off air. I don't know if you can say it on air. I gained 60 pounds with Zaza.
Oh, yeah. I gained like 70 pounds, maybe. I think around 70 pounds.
You stopped weighing yourself at some point.
Oh, yeah. I was not about to weigh myself. But I had also gained 20 pounds quarantine weight. So I was like the biggest I ever thought I would be in my entire, like, it was a lot. So they approached me, which I was so honored because I've seen like comments being like, were you upset that they like asked you to do this? It's like a diet plan. I was like, absolutely not. Like freaking Mariah Carey did this. I am honored.
Jenny Craig is iconic.
Yes.
Valerie Bertinelli.
Yes.
Her books are so good about losing weight. She was the face of Jenny Craig for a while. Mariah Carey, Oprah was Weight Watchers.
Yes, Weight Watchers. But still, it's
amazing. It's amazing.
And I grew up like Jenny Craig has been around forever. So growing up as a child and stuff, I saw the commercials. I watched them all the time. And I was just like so honored that they wanted it to be me because I was like, well, I'm not like Mariah Carey. You know, she's like super icon. But I was just very, 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 very honored. And I'm so happy I did it because I've lost over 30 pounds since the beginning of January.
Wow.
So it's really worked wonders for me. And I don't know, I'm very proud of myself. It does take a lot of hard work and dedication, but if you really want to do it, you can do it.
How was your lifestyle before Jenny Craig and how is it different after?
So I would say I was a big time snacker. I loved snack foods. Me and Jax loved like watch our Netflix or whatever. So I loved eating snack foods and it took its toll on me and it kept adding up over time. And I think with Jenny Craig, I learned how to do intermittent fasting, and that was a big change for me. Like that's like, you know, you stop eating at 7 or 8 o'clock, don't eat again until 9 or 10 the next morning. And that also helps you with like weight loss so much. And that right there was a huge change for me. I saw it immediately. And now the more that you do it, you get used to that routine. So I'm not sitting there like wanting a Twix bar at 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah, your body doesn't want it
anymore. Like it really changes you. And then, I'm working out so much more. I've just been so like focused and dedicated. And I put out there to a lot of people that I'm trying to lose weight. So that, that holds me accountable,
What's the food? Do you eat their food or can you go out to a restaurant and eat whatever you want?
So I mainly eat their food. And a lot of people are like, you don't really eat their food. I'm like, well, how do you think I lost 30 pounds? I didn't get it lipoed. So come on. Of course I'm doing this.
30 pounds is a lot to lose and it's a lot of work.
Yes, it is. So I mainly eat their food, but yes, I can go out to eat. You have a coach that you talk to like once a week. And sometimes, like if I decide I want to go to a restaurant or something that night, I can text her the menu and she can help me figure out what to do. It's all about like portion control and stuff like that as well. So if you stick to the plan the most, that's the most weight you're going to lose. Like if you stick to it, like exactly.
Can you have alcohol?
I'll tell them the days that I want to have alcohol. And like I said, my coach will like make it work with me. Obviously, to lose weight, you're not going to be drinking that much, but I love my tequila shots. It's a very known thing. Yeah. So if I'm going to go out, I want to have fun and, you can still live your life. I think that's very important. And with the Jenny Craig diet, like I still get to have chocolate cake. I still get to have like popcorn and things like that. You're not just like stuck to baked chicken or, like things like that are very plain and
like
dull.
What's your favorite dinner? Like give us exactly what it is.
Oh gosh, they have like a pepperoni pizza that's so good. I love that for lunch. Yeah. They have like a cheesy chicken and rice bowl that is like so good. They have breakfast bowls. They have teriyaki bowls. They have so many different things, so many different snacks too. They have got like cheese twirls that taste like baked Cheetos. Like they got a lot of good stuff.
Jenny Craig, you need a beer cheese Cheeto.
Yes. Yeah, do Brittany's beer cheese.
Brittany's beer cheese Cheeto. Make it low and fat and skinny so I can eat it after pregnancy.
Yes.
What advice would you have for someone who, like me, my first pregnancy gained a lot of weight and it took me 2 years to lose it. What advice would you tell them when it comes to weight loss?
I would say it's okay for you to take your time. It didn't happen. I mean, Cruz is already a year old and I'm, still want to go 10 more pounds down, I'd say. But it's okay to take your time. Like, don't be too hard on yourself because what we just did is the most beautiful thing in the world. We created a human being. But also if you really aren't feeling like yourself, you're not feeling confident, then go for it and just stay dedicated and stay focused. And a lot of times, like if you have a support system, like I've got people supporting me, my coaches, my husband, people on Instagram, like that helps you so much as well to stay motivated. So I don't know, just stay motivated, but don't be too hard on yourself either. Because I got deep down and a little dark sometimes in my head thinking about like what people were saying and things like that, whenever really I should have focused on how amazing my body is and how amazing my body just made a beautiful little boy. Like I should have focused more on that. And I hope other people are focused on that as well.
Those are really good tips. Are you guys working on anything else that maybe beer cheese that you think is going to come up soon? Is there anything brewing that's not TV?
Well, Jax was working on a children's book, so that should be out soon. Yes,
that is such a good idea.
Yeah, and it's about like how his father passed away. So it's kind of like talking to your grandfather and things that like your dad taught you type book. So that'll be like super super cute. So that'll be coming out soon for Jax, and then me, I'm just gonna be on Jenny Craig commercials.
Jenny Craig commercials?
Oh, yeah. You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen your commercial.
Yeah. So it's like me high-fiving myself. It's kind of cool because it's like every stage. And then I'm going to shoot another part of the commercial in July. So it'll be 3 me's in the commercial talking to myself.
Wait, will you DM that to me? That's cute. Maybe we can like put the background of the commercial.
Oh, it's cute. It's really fun.
So then they're going to film another one of you high-fiving
yes.
you.
Yeah, so it was
Cute.
like when I first started in January, like the day before I started the program, I did the first shoot. And then the second shoot I filmed the beginning of April. So then the third one will be in July whenever I lose even more weight. So it's like, three stages. Yeah.
Cool.
Congratulations, Brittany.
Thanks.
That's a big deal. I mean, your trajectory is incredible. That's really badass to have a Jenny Craig commercial.
Yeah, I was like super, super happy.
I mean,
it was fun.
I need a Jenny Craig commercial after this pregnancy.
Well, you look great. I don't think you're going to have issues like I did.
Thank you. That's very, very nice. I'll take all the compliments, Michael, just so you know
I'm
right
just
now.
Keep Brittany around so that I can.
I need all the compliments that I can get. Yeah. Where can everyone find you? Pimp yourself out.
Okay.
Where can we follow you? I know a lot of people probably already follow you. Give us all the details.
My Instagram is at Brittany, BRITTANY. And Twitter's BN Cartwright, and which I don't really do Twitter. And TikTok, which I need to get on, is just at Brittany Cartwright. So I gotta step up my TikTok game, but Instagram is my favorite right now.
Pretty bossy that you have just Brittany.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe it. It was very crazy that I was able to get that.
Yeah.
One day, Zaza, our daughter, will be at a bar in Las Vegas, and Cruz will come up to her and leave his date in the bathroom, and who knows what will happen.
No. We're gonna be off somewhere in the middle of nowhere, probably 500 acres.
We're going
somewhere.
to Kentucky.
Yeah, Are y'all wanting to move?
No, we did move. We live in Texas.
We live in Texas.
Oh,
but
amazing.
We split time, but
okay.
But yeah, no, we did move because I think for us we were kind of like going the opposite way. We wanted to go more, nature.
Yeah, it sounds like we kind of were on the same vibe as you guys. Sound like you're feeling towards.
Yeah,
like
Jax is definitely. Oh, Jax is so over LA. I mean, I've been here for 7 years now, but he's been here for 15 plus, and he's just kind of over it. Especially now that we have the baby, he wants him to be able to go play, and
I love being able to. I love being able to visit here, work here, do some of the stuff you have fun. But I think for children, like, this is a tough city.
Exactly.
Because it's not, you don't have as much open space. And also, I'm just going to be honest, it's dangerous here right now.
Yeah, it is dangerous right now.
I would never put my kid out here running around, like you can where we are.
Yeah, even just like pushing the stroller around the block and stuff, like you get scared because there's been so many things happen recently with moms pushing their strollers and it's terrifying. I hope it gets better.
I hope it gets better too. I think that you and Jax should totally look in Austin, Texas.
Oh, I love Austin.
Yeah, I feel like you'd like it. But maybe we should just move to Kentucky to take Zaza away.
Yeah,
we'll go to the
as soon as she's able to get online and get the internet, we're just going to keep moving further and further into the...
Like no Wi-Fi. There's no Wi-Fi at the farm where I'm from. So it's like you have to stand in a certain spot on the top of the hill, like with your phone up in the air to get Wi-Fi.
There's something really nice about that, though.
Yes.
Right?
It is.
It's refreshing.
It's nice to like take a step back sometimes. But it's good. My family's awesome.
It's charming. There's something so nice about it.
You can see the stars at night.
Oh my God, imagine that. You can see the stars. You can eat beer cheese. You can wear Hooters tights.
Yes.
I want to go. Get me to Kentucky.
Oh, come on, girl.
Brittany, thank you so much for coming on. You're absolutely adorable.
Thanks for having me. I had fun with you guys.
Come back on with Jax.
Yes.
I want to interview you guys together, but almost separate on the way you guys met. I feel like there's more to the story that we can pull out of him.
Oh, Jax will definitely focus on the fact that he was on a date with a girl. So be ready for that.
Okay. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, guys.